Hey there. Ready to dive into the world of fintech investment?
Absolutely.
We've got some articles here that I think really highlight the exciting opportunities, but also the challenges facing this industry.
Absolutely.
And LS, we'll break it all down.
Yeah.
So you walk away feeling totally in the know.
The financial technology scene is anything but static.
Right.
Whether you're thinking about launching a startup, investing in one, or just want to have informed conversations about what's next.
Yeah.
Understanding the flow of investment is key.
Okay, so one article that really caught my eye is titled, "Fintech Founders Must Drive More Investment for Investors' Confidence."
Right.
I feel like we're seeing this everywhere. Fintech is all about breaking the mold.
Yeah.
But investors seem to be getting cold feet.
It's a great observation, and it speaks to a larger trend.
What's going on there?
We've also got this piece from Leadership News covering Nigeria Fintech Week.
Okay.
Which gives us a boots-on-the-ground view of what's worrying.
Yeah.
Some exciting industry leaders right now, particularly when it comes to funding.
Before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's make sure everyone's on the same page.
Okay.
Someone who's new to all this might be thinking, what exactly is fintech?
It's a broad term.
Right.
But basically any technology transforming how we interact with money and financial services falls under the fintech umbrella.
So it's not just for, like, techies anymore.
Yeah, think about things you probably use all the time. Mobile banking apps.
It's become part of everyday life.
Exactly.
Right.
Those robo-advisors that help you pick investments.
Yeah.
Even just paying for something online. That's all fintech in action.
Okay.
And then there's the even more complex stuff.
Right.
Blockchain cryptocurrency.
Right.
Decentralized finance. DeFi. For those in the know.
PFI, okay.
These are the areas really pushing the boundaries and grabbing investors' attention.
You mentioned DeFi, and I gotta admit, that's one where I need a bit of a for dummies explanation.
Sure.
What is it in a nutshell, and why all the hype?
Imagine a financial system without the middlemen, no banks, no brokers.
Okay.
That's the basic idea behind DeFi.
Okay.
It uses blockchain technology to allow people to lend, borrow, and trade directly with each other.
Interesting.
It's still early days,
All right.
but the potential for increased transparency, lower costs, and greater accessibility has investors intrigued.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cutting out the middleman who doesn't love that.
Right.
But then we come to the statistic in one of the articles.
Yeah.
A whopping 77% decline in African fintech investment in the first half of 2024 alone.
Right.
That sounds more like a red flag than a green light.
It's a significant shift, no doubt.
Yeah.
And this data comes straight from Fintech NGR,
Right.
a real authority in African fintech.
Okay.
But a decline doesn't always mean disaster.
Okay.
The key takeaway here is that this is a wake-up call for fintech founders. To attract investors in this climate,
Yeah.
they need to be laser-focused on demonstrating value, not just potential.
So a reality check, not a death knell.
Right.
But what's behind this investment drought in the first place?
It's a perfect storm of factors.
Okay.
Yes, some of the initial fintech hype might be fading as the industry matures, but the global economic picture looms large.
Right.
Think currency fluctuations, rising interest rates.
Yeah.
Those make any investor hesitant.
Makes sense.
And then you've got the inherent uncertainty that comes with any new tech.
So even if you're not pitching $1 million fintech idea,
Right.
these economic trends still matter.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's all connected.
Right. Yeah.
These trends impact everyone,
Yeah.
from seasoned investors right down to how you manage your own money.
Right.
Understanding them gives you a clearer picture of the financial landscape.
Which brings us to those fintech founders trying to navigate this new, more cautious landscape.
Right.
The Leadership News article quotes Chika Nwosu, managing director of PalmPay Nigeria, who offers some really practical advice.
Nwosu's on the front lines, so his insights are particularly relevant.
Yeah.
He highlights a couple of key strategies that have really resonated with me.
Let's dig into those.
Okay.
First up, diversifying revenue streams.
Right. Relying on a single product or service is risky.
Right.
Especially now. Nwosu actually uses PalmPay as an example.
Okay.
They strategically expanded beyond Nigeria, tapping into new markets to reduce their reliance on any one economy.
Okay.
It's about building a more resilient business, one that can weather economic storms.
Smart move. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say.
Exactly.
The second strategy Nwosu emphasizes is actively engaging with policymakers.
Right.
Now, I can see why that's important.
Yeah.
But how does that play out in the real world?
It's all about anticipating and adapting to the regulatory landscape.
Okay.
The fintech world moves fast.
Sure.
And new rules, new guidelines, they can pop up out of nowhere. Founders who are proactive, who build relationships with regulators, are the ones best positioned to adapt and thrive.
Okay.
They're not caught off guard when the rules of the game change.
So it's not just about the tech itself.
Right.
It's about understanding the whole playing field.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
It's about strategic foresight, thinking a few steps ahead.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we've got founders who need to be adaptable, strategic, but what else are investors looking for in a fintech company,
Right.
especially in this climate?
Yeah.
What makes them want to open up their checkbooks?
It boils down to three key things.
Okay.
A strong value proposition,
Mm-hmm.
a compelling business model,
Right.
and trustworthiness with a big dose of transparency.
Those are some big ones.
Yeah,
Let's break those down.
sure.
First up, strong value proposition. It's a bit of a buzzword.
It is.
What does that actually mean in the fintech world?
You're right. It's more than just jargon.
Okay.
It's about going beyond features and explaining why your product matters.
Right.
It's about identifying a real problem in the market and offering a solution that's demonstrably better than what's already out there.
Right.
Remember that phrase from the first article?
Yeah.
Eliminating inefficiencies, enhancing accessibility, and providing tailored financial services.
Yeah.
That's a value proposition in action.
So it's about that aha moment for investors,
Exactly.
seeing the real world impact.
But impact alone isn't enough.
Okay.
That's where a compelling business model comes in.
Right. Because investors, as much as they might love a good idea,
Yeah,
ultimately care about making money.
it's true.
Right.
A compelling business model is all about demonstrating a clear path to profitability.
Okay.
This is where things like diverse revenue streams, which we've touched upon,
Right.
become vital.
Yeah.
Investors also scrutinize growth plans
Right.
and want to see a model that can scale effectively,
Yeah.
especially in the current economic climate. It's no longer enough to promise future riches.
Right.
You need to demonstrate a sustainable path to get there.
Okay. So you've got a great idea,
Yeah.
a solid plan to make money.
Right.
But there's one more crucial ingredient:
Uh-huh.
trustworthiness and transparency.
Absolutely.
It feels especially important in a field like fintech,
It does.
where you're dealing with people's money.
Right. Trust is paramount.
Yeah.
Investors need to be confident that founders are ethical,
Right.
handling data responsibly, and communicating honestly about their progress, both the good and the bad.
Right.
The article highlights practical steps like clear financial reporting,
Okay.
regular updates, and consistent communication. All those things build trust over time.
So it's like any relationship.
Precisely.
Honesty and openness are the foundation.
And that's where having clear metrics comes in.
Right, because numbers don't lie.
Right.
The article mentions some key performance indicators, or KPIs,
Yeah.
but I'll admit some of those went over my head. Can you break down which ones really matter in the fintech world?
Think of KPIs like vital signs.
Okay.
Telling you how healthy a company is and its potential for growth.
Got it.
In fintech, some of the most important ones include customer acquisition cost.
Okay.
How much does it cost to attract a new user?
Right.
Then there's the lifetime value of a customer.
Okay.
How much revenue will they generate for the company over their entire time using the service? And of course, churn rate.
Okay.
How many customers are leaving?
So it's not just about getting people in the door.
Exactly.
It's about building those lasting, profitable relationships.
Investors are looking for companies that can attract and retain customers in a cost-effective way.
Right.
For example, they might look at the ratio of customer lifetime value to customer acquisition cost, or LTV CAC.
LTV/CAC. Okay.
A high LTV CAC indicates that a company is making more money from its customers than it's spending to acquire them, a very good sign.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You want users to stick around and ideally spend some money. But it sounds like it's not enough to just throw a bunch of numbers at investors.
Right.
The article also mentions storytelling. How do those two things connect?
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Data without context is just noise.
Right.
Founders need to be able to weave those KPIs into a compelling narrative.
Okay.
What's the story behind the numbers?
Right.
Are you rapidly gaining market share?
Mm-hmm.
Is your customer base highly engaged and growing?
Yeah.
These are the narratives that resonate with investors.
Right.
I once saw a pitch where the founder started by sharing a personal story about why they created the product.
Okay.
It was so powerful that it brought tears to my eyes.
Wow.
And you know what? They got the funding.
So, like, investors are looking for more than just a good return. They're looking for a good story to be part of.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about believing in the vision, connecting with the why behind the business.
Right.
Speaking of compelling stories, let's shift gears a bit and talk about successful fintech startups. Are there any common threads or lessons we can glean from their journeys?
Yeah, learning from those who've already walked the path is always valuable.
It is.
What helped them get their foot in the door and thrive in such a competitive space?
One thing successful fintechs often have in common is they solve a real problem for a specific niche
Okay.
before trying to be everything to everyone.
Right.
Trying to conquer the world right out of the gate is tough.
Yeah.
You can get lost in the noise,
Right.
but if you focus on a specific target market, solve their unique needs,
Right.
you can gain traction and build a loyal user base,
Yeah.
then that early success becomes a powerful springboard for growth when you're ready to scale.
So start small, prove your concept, then expand.
Exactly.
It's like that saying, go narrow to go wide. What other wisdom can aspiring fintech founders take away
Oh, let's see.
from those who've already navigated this wild world?
Resilience is crucial.
Okay.
The fintech landscape is fiercely competitive, and the pace of change is relentless.
Right.
There will be setbacks, regulatory hurdles,
right.
and unexpected roadblocks.
Yeah.
The ability to adapt, learn from mistakes,
Right.
and keep going when things get tough. That's essential for long-term success.
It's about having that grit factor,
Absolutely.
not letting the inevitable bumps in the road derail the entire journey.
And never underestimate the power of a strong team.
Right.
Building a team with diverse skills, shared passion, and a deep understanding of both the technology and the financial landscape,
Right.
that's invaluable.
Yeah.
A great team can be the difference between a good idea and a truly transformative company.
It's making me think about the future of fintech investment.
Yeah.
We've talked about where things stand now. What are you seeing on the horizon?
Yeah.
What trends are you keeping an eye on?
Predicting the future is always a risky business.
Right.
But there are a few key trends I'm watching closely.
Okay.
One is the growing emphasis on financial inclusion, reaching those who've been underserved or excluded by traditional banking systems.
Right.
Investors are increasingly drawn to companies that are creating a more equitable financial landscape, not just chasing profits.
Financial inclusion is something I'm really passionate about.
Yeah.
Using technology to empower people who've been left behind by the traditional system.
Absolutely.
Are there any specific areas within financial inclusion that you're particularly excited about?
One area that's especially promising is microlending and microinsurance for underserved communities.
Okay.
These are just two examples where fintech is making a tangible difference and investors are taking note.
Yeah.
And alongside financial inclusion, there's a growing focus on sustainability.
Yeah.
Investors are more aware than ever of the environmental and social impact of their investments.
Right.
Fintech companies developing solutions with sustainability in mind have a significant advantage.
It makes sense. Aligning with those broader societal values is crucial in today's world.
Right.
What other trends are on your radar? Well, we can't talk about the future of fintech without mentioning artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Right.
These technologies are already transforming the financial landscape, and their influence will only continue to grow.
AI seems to be everywhere these days.
It's not just hype.
Right.
In fintech, AI is already being used for everything from fraud detection and risk assessment to personalized financial advice and algorithmic trading.
Wow.
As these technologies evolve, we can expect to see even more groundbreaking applications.
So it sounds like fintech founders who embrace these advancements,
Yeah.
AI, sustainability, financial inclusion, those are the ones best positioned for success.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
The companies that can anticipate and adapt to these evolving trends will be the ones shaping the future of finance.
It's clear that the world of fintech investment is dynamic and constantly evolving.
It is.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From defining the fintech landscape to uncovering the challenges and opportunities facing both founders and investors.
It's a lot to think about.
It is a lot to think about.
Yeah.
But through it all, the key takeaway is that while the technology is constantly evolving, certain fundamental principles remain crucial.
Absolutely.
A strong value proposition, a viable business model,
Right.
and maybe most importantly, trustworthiness and transparency.
So important.
These are the foundations of lasting success in this space.
I couldn't agree more.
So to our listener,
Yeah.
whether you're an aspiring fintech founder, a seasoned investor, or just someone who likes to stay ahead of the curve, remember, knowledge is power.
Hear, hear.
The more you understand the intricacies of this world, the better prepared you'll be to navigate it.
And keep asking those important questions.
Right.
The fintech world is always changing. Curiosity is key.
We'll be here to dive into those questions with you.
Absolutely.
Until next time, thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.